Hello classmates, my name is John Lester, and this week I'll be demonstrating my Lab 2 and Assignment 2. Let's start with Lab 2. We created a PHP program that basically generated a 10 by 10 matrix of random numbers. We color-coded it, pink for even, teal for odd. We counted the odd and even numbers, and we gave a total of all the numbers added together. As you can see here, as I refresh the page, the design changes. Right, and so if we look at the code for this, it was pretty simple. We have a simple table that we start here, then we begin our PHP, counters for our odd, even, and sum. We have nested for loops for the TR and the TD. We generate our random number between 1 and 100. We determine if the number is odd, in which case we color it cyan and increment the odd counter. Otherwise, we color it pink and increment the even counter. We add the number to our sum, we close our table, show our results. One interesting thing here was the number format for sum. This, by default, gives you the thousand separator and a decimal if there was one. And now on to Assignment 2. For Assignment 2, we needed to create a PHP program that used at least 2 loops, 3 conditions, HTML tables to display the data, and cascading style sheets. And optionally, we could use random numbers or random characters. So for this assignment, what I did is I generated a craps game here. Right? And each time we press roll again, right, we can see the rolls iterating. It counts our wins and it counts our losses. So let's take a look at how we did this. So first we have our style sheet where we set up our body and our 2 tables. One I called top, the other I called main. And then we get into the PHP in the header where we have our 2 dice. And then we add the 2 together for our roll total. And then session variable would have been good, would have been correct, but instead I used post because it was kind of quick and dirty. But first we need to check if it's set, and if it is set, this environmental post variable, then we want to bring it into a local variable. Otherwise, we want to set that local variable to a default value. And we do that for roll, points, wins, and losses, right? And so then we move on to our table. And in our table, we output our dice based on, the die, our random numbers up here. And then we want to check for our conditionals. So our conditionals are, if it's the first roll and you roll a 2, 3, or 12, you lose. Or if it's a subsequent roll and you roll a 7, you lose. And then we have our else if, and we check for winning conditions. And then an else if, where we check if it's just the first one and you haven't won or lost, so that's when we set our point. Else, we obviously didn't win, we didn't lose, it isn't the first roll, so it's just a subsequent roll. And here, to carry those what would normally be session variables forward, I used hidden form tags here, sorry, to basically carry that forward using post. And it just posts, you'll see, to itself. And then we have, so I did all that and it was working great, and then I realized I hadn't done a for loop yet, let alone 2 of them. So that's why I decided I would set this up with a simple for loop that echoes an asterisk for each of the roll numbers, the wins, and the losses. That's about it. If you have any questions, please post them in the forum.